RFF was created in 1952, following two wrenching global conflicts and at the dawn of a radically changing post-war world. A presidential commission concluded the United States desperately needed a new institution, and it called for the creation of an independent organization to analyze the nation's supply and use of its natural resources. RFF became the first think tank devoted exclusively to natural and environmental issues, and invented an entirely new field, environmental and resource economics. Through landmark publications, RFF produced the necessary practical tools to understand and wrestle with the many dimensions of resource scarcity. We work to make sure that economic growth and environmental well-being go hand in hand. RFF is working to tackle such challenges as managing energy supplies, urbanization and the growth of megacities, and the economic cost of drought, floods, and other extreme weather events, to take a few examples. What distinguishes RFF is that we identify key issues and problems long before others see them, and carry out in-depth, usually quantitative research to design policy recommendations. We pride ourselves on anticipating and answering the right questions in time to make a difference in public policy. We've provided the analytical horsepower for such efforts as the President's Commission on the Deepwater Horizon disaster, regional efforts to reduce sulfur dioxide emissions in the Northeast, and climate policy in Europe and California. At RFF, we adhere to the highest standards of research creativity and quality while staying committed to independent, objective analysis. As an institution, we don't take positions on policy issues. A senior-ranking leader at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has said, RFF does what a think tank is supposed to do. But our work does not stop there. We're an active resource for policymakers. We testify, write FAQs and short issue briefs to explain complex subjects. And on any day, our experts meet formally and informally with decision makers. Our public events draw several hundred people, and a webcast reaches many more. RFF is in the idea business. Our key measure of success is whether people listen, and they do. Our scholars are routinely called upon to brief leaders in the public and private sectors, testify before Congress, and serve in government administrations. But the ultimate measure for us is whether our ideas become common currency, not simply a research finding. Concepts like environmental fees, tradable fishing quotas, ecosystem services, and the auctioning of the electromagnetic spectrum. These are no longer just ideas in research and policy papers. They are shaping the world we live in today. Because of our name and our focus on environmental issues, some think that we're an environmental advocacy organization. In truth, RFF does not take organizational positions of any kind, and we refrain from advocacy. We receive highly diverse sources of support from government, foundations, individuals, and business. What our supporters like is RFF's commitment to free, nonpartisan inquiry into the world's most important questions, and the track record of making a lasting difference. Our contributions include policy innovations like tradable fishery quotas, the auctioning of the electromagnetic spectrum, and payment for ecosystem services programs. They include intellectual breakthroughs like incorporating pricing and economic incentives into environmental protection efforts, and discovering ways to allow non-market goods like clean air and water to be properly considered in government decision-making. To take just one example, Nobel Prize-winning economist Ken Arrow says RFF, and I quote, put wilderness preservation on an equal footing with economic development. We look ahead, and sometimes that focus is beyond the horizon of many policymakers and funders. On the funding front, securing that intellectual venture capital to pursue innovative and even risky ideas can be difficult. In addition, many funders understandably like to target their support to discrete projects and outcomes. But we have found that many of our biggest breakthroughs are thanks to flexible money, the kind of dollars that allow our scholars the freedom and ability to think big. That kind of money is exceedingly valuable, but also hard to come by. Additional resources would greatly increase RFF's pursuit of wholly new ideas that tackle difficult problems or take unusual approaches. Our New Frontiers Research Fund is an example. It allows us to hold competitions with judges from businesses, NGOs, and universities to identify and support clever new ideas. RFF also is widely respected as a convener. We host the longest-running public forum in the nation on the economics of natural resources. We recently hosted 3 Nobel laureates on future global environmental challenges. With additional resources, we could build out our New Frontiers research and these wildly popular public forums. RFF sees several trends that call for new thinking. One is the future of coasts and the oceans, where urbanization of coastal areas around the world and energy development in offshore waters hold new promise, but create social and environmental concerns. Secondly, governments have less and less money for stewardship of natural and environmental resources. Finally, as a society, we are still not very good at thinking about public policy when it involves significant risk and uncertainty. These issues need RFF-style creative thinking and the neutral home we provide to convene government officials, business groups, and NGOs for discussion.